everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Left Side, Strong Side. I'm your host, Chance Elson. Joining me, my co-hosts, Mike Deacon and Jacob London. And special guest this week, God, I'm so happy he's here, Matt Thomas. Matt and I have a lot to discuss later on in the show. Both positive, mostly negative, if I'm being completely honest. But we have a lot of football to get into. Look, we're 2 weeks in, and this season's already kind of fucked. We're being completely honest. Things are already weird. But let's just get into it. Let's start with our Thursday night matchup. We had the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I think we can all say for the first half of this game, it was pretty shocking on behalf of the Eagles. So this is a team that they waxed last year.
I think the first half of this game, look, the Eagles are going to put it together eventually. We know that. They're a very good team. This is where Sirianni made the massive mistake of not playing any of these players in preseason. You have a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. You had to play this team, these guys, in preseason so that they knew they could gel and learn. This whole month is going to be rough for them. The lucky thing they have is they have a pretty relatively easy schedule to start the season. And that hopefully this mistake doesn't come back to bite Sirianni in the ass. But right now, they're not looking amazing. Eagles secondary is the biggest concern I have for this team. They really need to fix that.
Not you, Slay. You're still great, but everyone else.
That's the single biggest concern I have for this team.
Yeah, look, things are looking pretty rough. The only reason this is so close at the beginning of the game, and the reason Philly ended up winning, fumbles. Lots and lots of fumbles.
Yep. Yeah, so, on this one, this is a case, and I'm not going to say this is concerning for the Vikings. The Vikings are fortunate right now that Jordan Addison has proven over to the first 2 weeks that he can be a big ball threat. Like, he's turned 2 massive plays in the first 2 games, which is what they drafted him for. He's looked good. Justin Jefferson has been a stat monster, but just can't find the end zone. And that's a little concerning.
That's the weird thing. We're like Justin Jefferson, one of arguably the best receiver in football.
That is the best receiver. Don't even say arguably. That is the best receiver in football.
Yeah, but there's room. There's
an argument. Tyreek has an argument.
Tyreek has an argument. Devontae has an argument. Point is, like, he is up there in the conversation for best receiver. I'm thinking Justin Jefferson. I'm going to give a big congratulations to Justin Jefferson. He is now officially passed every single Bears wide receiver on the all-time receiving yards list.
Oh, you're upset that I'm not calling? Well, you know what, Mom? I'm upset that you made me a Bears fan. Mm-hmm. That's child abuse.
Sorry, PLD.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, you might have a new quarterback in 2 weeks.
Yep. And you might win a Super Bowl if that happens.
In all seriousness, if I'm the Vikings, if I lose next week to the Chargers, which is a big if, I blow it up. You're losing Cousins at the end of this year, no matter what. Like, right. He's a free agent.
They didn't want to extend him.
Yeah, they're not going to extend him. They've already kind of hinted that they're not.
They're not going to franchise him, so it's.
And here's the other. They can't franchise him. He'd be way too expensive.
Yeah,
because he's the one who went through it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the other big thing. Give up the first that you were always going to give up anyway. I know it's a first for a rental is not that bad, is a lot to pay, but it's a 1 year rental. Give up the first, and you keep Cousins for a year, and then at the end of the year you can decide: do we extend him, or is Rodgers back? And then you don't have to worry going forward about. Are we pissing Rodgers off? Are we not? Like any of that. I think that this season doesn't become the lost season.
Well, I know of a certain number 2 overall pick from a couple of years back that I'd happily give them in exchange for Cousins.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But someone I do want to give credit for in this game, Kenneth Gainwell was not playing, so DeAndre Swift got a more expanded role in the offense.
Right.
Holy shit, he looked good.
Yeah, he did.
You know, this is what they thought they were trading a 4th-round pick for. This is what everyone thought they were getting. And, you know, when you don't split up a back's carries, look what happens.
Yeah. DeAndre Swift looked like he did his the 1 year, his rookie year and his 4th year in Detroit, which were the 2 years that he was healthy. And he looked like what he was touted to be out of college. And yeah, you know, if he can continue this, that's, you know, a major upgrade over what they've had. And Miles Sanders was good. Like Miles Sanders the past couple of years, that's not a knock against Miles Sanders at all, because he played very well. He's part of the committee. But if Swift is doing this, wow, did they get an upgrade?
Absolutely.
We had the worst rule in football make its entrance in this game. I fucking hate the touchback rule. I hate it.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
Rule in football. I understand, there should be a punishment. It should be you go back to the 25-yard line, but you get the ball. That's what the rule should be. Yeah. It shouldn't be you get the ball at the 1-yard line. There's no punishment then. There should be a punishment for losing it in the end zone. You just go back to the 25-yard line. That's what it should be. But turning over the ball is the dumbest rule in football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anyways, Eagles press on to 2-0. Like I said, offense looking a little shaky, but again, I'm confident this team is going to put it together. Like their schedule up front, at least for their front load schedule, not super difficult. It's a perfect like training wheels to get this team rolling. So I do still have faith in this team like further down the stretch. We'll see how it turns out. Vikings though, we'll get to you later. Up next we have Chicago's new owner, Jordan Love, going into Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Remember how we said Jordan Love looked last week? Yeah, that form was not present here.
Not at all. Green Bay looked lost without Aaron Jones. That was very obvious.
That's a big caveat to this. They were out of of their big offensive players, mainly Christian Watson, Aaron Jones, and one of the starting tackles, Elton Jenkins.
Yeah,
and Bakhtiari.
Bakhtiari was hurt again, wasn't he? Yeah, no Bakhtiari either. So good luck.
The fact that this game was close is kind of an indicator that Jordan Love is good. Like he is good. You just have to give him something. Right. He had nothing in this game, absolutely nothing, and that was the problem.
At the same time, though, this does say a lot about Atlanta's resolve because normally they're at the giving end of blown leads. Here they're at the receiving end of a blown lead, so things are changing around Atlanta.
Atlanta's got a solid defense. Like that game, I watched the 1:00 games on Red Zone, and that got a lot of coverage on Red Zone. And Atlanta's defense had they were playing really good zone defense and put pressure on when they needed. And in this particular circumstance, when you had someone like Love, who's not as experienced, there were times that they flustered him. They weren't necessarily sacking him, but they flustered him quite a bit, and they just pretty much had a command over this game that it was not an explosive game by any means on the Falcons' part on either side of the ball, but they looked confident on both sides of the ball, which is going to be important for a team that's this young. Like if they can continue this, especially considering the division they're in.
Yeah, things are still wide open for the Atlanta Falcons. Bijan's looking good. The defense looking solid. I imagine how much better their defense would look if they decided not be stupid and take an edge rusher or a linebacker or somebody with the first round pick. But Bijan's very good. But I still think the Falcons made a mistake by taking him. But again, I'm not angry because he's great running.
Bijan's making a very, 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 very strong argument for why he is going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh, there's someone else.
I know there is someone else. I know we will talk about him. I agree. But the big takeaway I had from this, Chance, you know how I gave you shit for having two teams from the NFC South in the playoffs? You might not be wrong.
She's not wrong.
I was going to wait a little bit, but we have 3 NFC South teams that are 2-0 right
Well,
now.
2-0.
How did that happen? Like,
Yeah, of all the things that could be started of the season like bizarre, I don't think this is on any of our bingo cards.
and
Like,
here's
no.
the crazy thing is, and we'll get into this a little later. The one that we expected to be like who on paper should have been the best of them, of the 3 2-0 teams, looks the worst right now. So.
But yeah, so Atlanta again, quality win. I wish I did have the clip of Jordan Love tripping on a QB sneak.
Wait, real quick, can we give the Cincinnati quarterback from Love? This isn't an Ohio thing because I actually don't like the Bearcats. But Desmond Ridder is playing really well. He played in the first game, but
He played better. He played better.
Yes, he played
Played
better.
better in this game. He had a decent second half.
Yes.
I'm not
sold on him. I'm not sold on him.
Yeah.
But the fact is, he made an improvement against arguably a better team. That's the big thing.
And Green Bay's got good defense. Like Green Bay's defense is a little bit unheralded. And I agree with you. Like he didn't just game manage. Like to an extent he did, but when he needed to make the big play, he did.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think this might have been the most complete game since he's gone. He doesn't have a big window of games right now, but it was his most complete game since he's been a starter.
Yeah, and he's doing a hell of a lot better than a QB drafted 2 rounds ahead of him.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Remind me. I'll save that. Save that.
Just doing a hell of a lot better. That had QB traded 3 first-round picks for him too. I don't give a fuck.
So yeah. Again, good win, Atlanta. Again, my idea of them making the playoffs not looking so crazy now, is it?
No, it's really not.
No.
It's really not.
Up next, we have battle of the AFC South, the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Houston Texans. Look, things are looking really good for Anthony Richardson at the very beginning. Here's the problem. Indy happened. Concussion.
Yep.
That's what happens when you don't protect your QB.
You know what's so yeah, well luck all over. But you know what's so frustrating? Do you know how good this team would have been if they had just paid Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's on PUP. He's still on the team.
I know, but okay, but
they said he could
these 2 games. Richardson doesn't have to run. He doesn't have to be the entire fucking offense.
Right. He doesn't have to be Josh Allen his rookie year. I agree.
Like it's so Richardson's good. Like this kid is playing well when he can play and doesn't get injured or hurt, and it's just frustrating because I've seen this story before.
That's the thing. Well, like Richardson, like he can run. Throwing the ball leaves a bit to be desired, but running the ball, the dude can do really well. Yeah. And look, I'll give credit to Gardner Minshew. He came in, he game managed.
Gardner did good. Like all credit to Gardner.
It's this defense and it's this team. Like Texans are still one.
Right.
Hey, Cardinals, you're getting 2 top 5 picks this year. Like,
side note, though, I will give credit to CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud.
I was about to say, can we talk about the number 2 overall pick from the Ohio State University, who doesn't have a line in front of him, balling out for 300-something yards in a second?
Yeah, that's the thing. CJ Stroud's not the first Ohio State QB with over 300 yards in an NFL game. That's never happened before. Good for CJ, and especially good considering the things he's working with.
Yeah, that's no. Don't get Stroud is playing well. I think all 3 of them.
No, I agree. No,
I think all 3 of them are actually playing pretty well. Like even look, Bryce Young will get to that game, but I think all 3 of them are actually playing pretty decently, given how when we were coming into the season, we were like, oh, these guys are going to get murdered. Like they're all playing relatively decently.
I do want to say, Mike Deacon was correct. Damian Pierce would eventually fall off the face of the earth because 2 games in, he has done absolutely shit. He told me that last year, and I ate my crow.
But here's the thing with the Texans, though, and I've said this before. This is a team that knows that this is a lost year. Like, this is a full-blown rebuild. This is a team that has got speared into the skid. They know this. This year, any improvements they get from a guy like Pierce, from any of these players, having the rookie quarterback, having this looks like absolute beast of an edge rusher coming in, rookie edge rusher. There's a lot that that will go right for them in the long run. Nico Collins did come on strong in that second half. Like
Tank Dell.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly, Dell. And there's a lot in 2 years to be excited about with this team. It's not going to happen right away, but give it a year or two. If they can keep this foundation together, there's a lot to be optimistic about long term with this team.
As I said, like, I understand why they did the trade. I still think they're going to end up living to regret it, because I think that number 1 pick is going to be very high, and there is going to be a player that they could have gotten with it this year that they're going to live to regret.
Hey, they're going to be totally fine. You want to know why? Because they still own the Browns pick.
Yeah,
True. That's going to be a top 10 pick. So yeah, that's
fair. Jacob, I guess it's time to give you your flower. Let's talk about the Raiders versus the Bills. Look, we said that if they didn't come out and dominate the Raiders, then there's cause for concern. They came out and dominated the Raiders, so I'm not worried about the team.
Look, Allen did everything he had to do. Look, he's not the same person, but he's playing like him. He's Brett Favre 2.0. He has the highest of highs.
What state is Josh Allen allegedly defrauding?
Oh,
wow.
We went there, huh?
He has the lowest of lows.
Don't sue me, Brett
and the
Favre.
highest of highs. There are plays that Allen does that make me want to rip my hair out and go, what are you fucking doing? He needs to stop hurdling people. Stop it. You're going to break your leg. But then he'll do the most beautiful 70-yard throw you've seen ever. And you're just like, what is going on? Who are you? And
what you're saying right there, the 70-yard throws, like when he throws down, like his long ball is maybe right now the best in football. He has quite possibly the best long ball in football. He played so much crisper in this game. He looked so much more confident, so much more prepared. And like almost every time he went to Diggs, it was a guaranteed catch. And the other thing that they did in this game that Buffalo did not involve, they got a run game going, which, has been one of their biggest issues.
Nice.
Yeah, one of their biggest issues for the past, 3 years? So, they finally did that. That's something, if Buffalo can continue to do that for the foreseeable future, this obviously James Cook took the lead, but Latavius Murray had a couple of good runs. Dameon Pierce looked good on the goal line. Damian Harris looked good on the goal line. If they can play the way they played against the Raiders as opposed to the way they played against the Jets, this is easily an 11-win team.
Yeah, look, I'm cautiously optimistic. I was very happy with how they played. Don't get me wrong. They played fantastic, and I understand that Allen struggles against the Jets. He always has. It is just a team that he has just always struggled against. So, I get last week. I'm not going to murder him for it. Even though I was very angry, I've calmed down since. Next week's a big game for him. Next week is a must-win game because it's one of those. We'll talk about it later, but they need to win that game.
Washington's defense is going to give him a lot more difficulty than the Raiders' defense did. They played a scheme that's going to be similar to the Jets as opposed to the Raiders, who the Raiders are more of a feast or famine type defense. And Allen does very well against that. When you pull the defense back and go to more of a zone, he struggles against that. And that's what Washington does.
Yeah. And that's my concern. I'm really concerned about that. One other thing I just want to talk about is on the Raiders side, Josh Jacobs. That might be the single
thing I was about to mention. Josh Jacobs is now the first person since the 1970s to lead the league in rushing and then have negative yards.
I put some serious thought into giving him not stonks. I'm not, but he was up there in my thought process.
He was close. And look, it's not entirely his fault. The Raiders line is pretty bad, and the Buffalo front is pretty solid. But at the same time, Jesus Christ, negative 9 yards. All of us on screen right now had more rushing yards Sunday than Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Yeah. That opening drive from Jimmy G was nice and scared the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, crap, we're in for a shootout. And then that went away very quickly. So I was happy after that.
Yeah. So moving on to our next game. Matt, you and I can disagree on a lot. One thing we can't agree on, Joe Burrow right now looks fucking trash. Let's talk about Baltimore versus Cincinnati.
First off, before I say Joe Burrow is trash, let's start
I'm
off.
not saying he is trash. I think he looks like trash.
He does look like trash, but let's keep this in mind. He won again. There's a reason the AFC North is before how shit has exploded with injuries in this division was widely considered the toughest division in the entire sport because you had realistically, you had 4 of what could be arguably top 5 to top 10 defenses in the same division. It's the division that was expected to cannibalize on itself, and it doesn't help that Joe Burrow, coming back from an injury after not taking a single snap after the first day of training camp, essentially, has looked like absolute garbage. That being said, you still got to.
It's like I said it last week. It's like he got his money and said, "You know what? I don't got to try anymore."
See, I can't even say that because at the same time, it's just timing. If you pay attention, it's a lot of just missed timing, and they have new linemen up front too, so your timing gets thrown off because the line still has to gel. You also got to throw in the fact that, hey, one of those receivers is probably not going to be there next year, and he's probably just trying to get the hell out.
I disagree. He's trying to get it. I think he wants to put stuff on film. Everyone is annoyed right now.
Well, no, the reason I say get out is because he knows he's not going to get paid, so he'd rather just get traded to a team that will pay him right away. That's what I mean by get the hell out.
Fair.
Because especially after that Burrow contract, Joey B did not do that team any favors for historically one of the most frugal franchise owners in the NFL. Enjoy that team in Cincinnati. You probably got like 2 years left with it. And this is sad truth. And I say this as a Browns fan. We have our own history. I've seen it before. What happened with Andy Dalton and why am I forgetting the
AJ Green?
What happened when they started getting too expensive? Blew it all up. It's a cycle that repeats itself with the Bengals because you have the same thing happen with Chad Ochocinco Johnson and Carson Palmer. That's what Cincinnati does, but this time they actually decided to keep the quarterback. I expect them to just start drafting wide receivers high the next 3 to 5 years.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say that's one thing right there. They still have some questionable offense on the offensive line. It's not as bad as it was his rookie year and things like that, but they still have question marks there. But the thing that everybody has overlooked this entire beginning of the season is the Ravens are like the most consistent defense in the NFL for the past 20 years, 25, maybe the entire existence since they became the Ravens. And nothing has changed on that front. This defense, regardless of who they play, is always keeping the Ravens in games. And they always are just good enough on – here you go. They won by 3 points. They're just good enough on offense. They don't blow anybody out, but they always squeak out these wins. And they are a tough-nosed team that always seems to have a next-man-up mentality, especially on defense. But on offense, too, all of a sudden, they lost Dobbins, and Edwards and Hill did fine this week. And, they're a team that is built on depth, and nobody ever talks about them, and they always are above 500.
Big takeaway for me from this one is this could be the beginning of the end for Zach Taylor.
Could have been the beginning of the end years ago.
Okay, I think Chance and I can agree on this, being as a team, people who have to watch this division all the time. Zach Taylor is not a good coach. Joe Burrow
coach. Chance said it best. He's the Mike McCarthy. He's the modern day Mike McCarthy.
Yes.
Like he's getting carried by a legendary.
He's the AFC's Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. Here is Burrow should never have been playing either of these 2 games.
Probably.
He played because he wanted to.
And look, if it was Burrow 100% coming in and saying, I am playing, then that's on him, and he has to ride that, and he has to hold, and he has to own that and accept that. Hey, you've probably just had a bad season,
and now he's probably not playing the next few weeks. On top of it,
I'm resting him until the bye. You have to, and then at this point, kind of just ride this season out. Get a high enough draft pick to grab yourself a wide receiver to replace T. Higgins. At this point, that's where you have to go, so that next year, that's your all-in year.
I love how he keeps saying their biggest problem was offensive line. We give him a high draft pick, and they still don't fix it.
Same thing happened with Chase.
Look,
Yeah, the exact same thing happened. Look how that turned out. Should have went to the Super Bowl, but they fucking lost. Why offensive line?
It's some. I was watching. I think it was Get Up the other day, and funny enough, it's a cold day in hell, and I agree with Rex Ryan on things, but Rex Ryan said a lot of smart shit for once. He brought up the fact that if you pay attention to the Bengals, they haven't changed their offense in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Teams have figured it out, especially when you have someone like the Ravens who see it 2 times a year. Jim Schwartz, who he might be the Browns' first-year offense or defensive coordinator, but look at how he tuned in and has paid attention to the fact that the Browns always play well against the Bengals. It's not going to look pretty. You're going to be missing Burrow for at least the next 2 weeks is what's being said, and I wouldn't be shocked if it's longer. It's just blow it up, get a second first-round pick this year, or not blow it up completely, but like trade T. You're going to get a first for him. You're going to get a first. So just trade T, get that first, and rebuild some. Like,
because you know what team would give up a first right now for T Higgins, and he'd hate going there, but you know who would? Patriots.
Yep.
Patriots give up a first right now for T Higgins. That's what they need. They need a weapon.
I could see the Panthers saying, "Sure, we'll give up our first with T Higgins."
Oh, absolutely.
What first?
I could see that.
Oh yeah, Panthers don't have a first.
Sorry.
But yeah.
Wait, Chicago could would give up a
Try it
first.
again.
We'll get to Chicago.
I got some words about
weapons aren't
Chicago.
their problem. Weapons are not the Bears' problem.
It's not the weapons. I agree, but when you give them, like, could you imagine that receiving core?
I know, but
the point is, there's a ton of teams in this league who would just say, "Yeah, I'll give up a first round pick and pay this guy some money because he's worth it."
So I think that's realistically, if I'm the Bengals, write this season off, and that's where you go. Assuming Burrow has to sit out for the next 2-3 weeks, and you lose those games, because I know they play Arizona in one of them. They go Rams, Titans, Arizona, I think, and they should win one of them. But if you lose the Titans one, this season's over. Like, you're 0-4. That's it. You're done.
Here's the thing: their bye isn't until week 7. So, Jacob, you said let's sit them for the next until the bye. That's 4 games, because not only after the Cardinals, you have the Seahawks. So there's also, a real chance of just.
One more question: has anybody seen Jamar Chase? I swear he's on this team.
He's got balls coming off the tips of his fingers. That's why I said it's a timing thing. I can't even be mad at him because he's getting open.
I'm not angry at him. I'm just like, you have one of the best receivers in the league. You can't get that dude going. You cannot get that dude going.
Yeah.
How can you get your wide receivers going when your quarterback isn't going? That's the big thing.
Yeah. It is. I feel like that all comes down back to coaching. And in fact, I think it's Zach Taylor is he just should not.
Hey, I'll tell you who's going to have plenty of job opportunities at the end of the season. The enemy.
Yeah. Moving on to speaking of the enemy, moving on to our next game, going to his old protege, a game we all thought could be game of the week, ended up being one of the most stale, dull
defensive game
I've seen in a while.
Dull. That was
alarmingly dull considering who's playing.
Yeah.
Yo, that was defense. I can't call that dull. That was kind of defense.
But that's the one thing. Kansas City have proved they got a top 10 defense, if not a top 5. That defense is fucking legit. It's scary.
Yeah, at the same time, I'm not sure if it's a good defense or just really bad offense from Jacksonville, because Jacksonville's offense did not play well.
Yeah, but they were good last week too against the Lions. So I'm ready to say that that's a really good defense.
I agree with Jacob on that one. I think Kansas City their defense has definitely they didn't change drastically in the offseason, but whatever changes they did make, it certainly has worked. And Trevor did not play his best game. But I mean, if you watch like Trevor Lawrence was far from what he was last week. And even last week, he had some moments in the second and third quarters that he did not look great. This week, he looked like it the whole game. And on the other side of the ball, Jacksonville also has a very good defense. Jacksonville has a very solid, very similar to, in my eyes, to the Falcons, but a better version of that. And people don't realize, hey, that their Josh Allen is kind of stepping up to be, I'm not going to say a household name, but he's solid. That dude,
Josh Allen is a household name. The only thing is, it's not that Josh Allen.
Not that Josh Allen.
That Josh Allen is damn good.
He
is. He's gonna get paid.
Yeah,
he's gonna get paid. Anyway,
and neither team got a run game going. They were making errant passes all over the place. It was pretty obvious that Travis Kelce was not 100%. So there was just a lot of factors in this game. Calvin Ridley couldn't stay in bounds. He had a couple of really nice plays, but they were all out of bounds. So,
this game was. I thought this game would be. Look, this is the toughest game on the Jags schedule out of all of them. This was the toughest game. Jags so far kind of looking like they were at the first half of last year, not the back half, and it's a little concerning. I think they're the by default winner of the South compared to the AFC South, kind of what we thought the NFC South would be. Right now, it's just like, oh wow, all four of these teams are not that great. Colts are better than we thought. Jacksonville are worse than I thought. Like I know I was someone who was high on Jacksonville, and there's another team that's kind of doing that at the moment. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed at the moment, and we'll see what happens. Well, I'm really curious how they go over the two London games.
Yeah, they're not that far away, and they're going to get animated for one of them. So
yeah, I was going to say that for when we actually talk about those games, but yes, there will be the Toy Story Bowl, which goddamn right I'm watching.
I'm trying to figure out how they're going to do that in real time.
Yeah, so, that's gonna be
while we're on this. What the hell do they do in a situation that an Aaron Rodgers situation or a Nick Chubb situation happens, and they're trying to animate it with Toy Story? Like,
well, you have something come out of their feet. Yeah, you have the toy foot
just break off or something. I just need it.
Yeah. All right. Up next, we have our upset of the week. This goes to this was tough, but ultimately we settled on the Los Angeles Chargers losing to the Tennessee Titans.
Brandon Staley, you're now on the clock.
Yep,
big time.
Brandon Staley, you might lose your job next week. Okay, what's so frustrating about this game? Yes, Justin Herbert has not been perfect. The frustrating part is why he shouldn't have to be perfect for them to have won these games.
Right.
Like, he has thrown over 500 yards, not thrown a single pick, scored over 50 points in 2 games. Mm-hmm. How are you losing these?
And that's the other thing. Like Justin Herbert in this last game, didn't he throw for over 300 yards?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Both
games. Over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you kept Derrick Henry to under 100 yards. And you're losing.
Yep.
So the big thing here is the fact that the side of the ball that Brandon Staley was brought in to fix, he has not fixed. It looks like the same piece of crap defense it looked like before he came in, if not worse.
It's worse. He inherited a top 10 defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's now the worst in football. It's bad. Honestly, Staley should have gone after the Jags game. I was adamant about that. after
I remember
that,
watching and seeing. Yes,
after the Jags lost, he should have been gone. They needed to. I understand why they didn't, because they went, no, it was one bad loss. I mean, the way the Broncos are going, they probably made the right fucking choice. But this has been a disaster, and whoever loses next week isn't making the playoffs, and that organization is going to completely change. It's going to have to. Like next week is a Super Bowl for one of these teams, which is crazy. Like the Chargers or Vikings. Like we'll get to it, but that's huge. It's a huge game, and it's really important. This was a complete disaster for the Chargers. Complete and utter disaster.
Again, laps on defense. The menace that is J.C. Jackson reared his head again. He didn't play well.
No.
I'm not. I don't have the sacks stats on Tannehill. I don't think he went down that many. That was crazy considering we have fucking Osa and Mac on the same line. Ridiculous. Yeah, the defense is the biggest problem for this team, which is crazy considering you have the guy who allegedly ran the best defense in the NFL for several years.
They allowed Ryan Tannehill, who's one of the least mobile quarterbacks in the league, to score a 10-yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah, that enough should be cause for concern.
Like, yeah, what Brandon said, Herbert, again, yes, the last two drives of both games that he's been in, the drive where he couldn't go down and get a field goal, and then in this one where it kind of stalled and couldn't, I understand, yes, in those situations, you probably shouldn't, yes, you've paid all this money for Herbert to go and do that. But in that point of the game, Herbert has gotten you into the position to do that. Why the hell is your defense not stepping up when that is where you have spent all of your money? The amount of money that has been spent on this fucking defense, and they're this terrible, is just ridiculous. Anyway.
But yeah, Titans somehow be a team who people thought was were a legit playoff contender. So good for them.
Also, get ready for a lot more Derrick Henry under 100 yards because I'm pretty sure he's washed.
Nah, I'm not ready to go that far yet.
The other side of the ball, though, you know who's not washed apparently is Keenan Allen, because he's looked phenomenal these first two games.
Right. And that's the thing that's so frustrating. Keenan Allen looked great, and look.
Won me a fantasy game.
Again, they did that without Austin Eckler. Eckler wasn't playing, and they were still this isn't on the offense. And anyone who blames the offense is not watching these games. This is pure defense, and that's to me enough. The Steelers needs to go, and they need to either go get themselves a really good defensive coach or the enemy. It's one or the other.
Up next, also in the 1 o'clock slot, we had our game of the week. Funny enough, also an overtime game. It was Seattle versus Detroit.
Easily game of the week.
Yeah. This is an exciting matchup.
So Detroit, they lost their run game, obviously, and there was a noticeable difference after Montgomery got hurt. It was a little surprising. I guess it was kind of a tell now that, Gibbs is not being looked at for the run game much at all. They went immediately to Craig Reynolds, and there was a noticeable difference in that offense after David Montgomery got hurt. Seattle played such a sloppy start to the game, and then Geno just snapped into it and played like he did last year. If you compare Geno in that game this week to last week, wow, what a difference.
Biggest takeaway from this, and it actually doesn't involve either of these two teams. Rams are a good team. Rams are a good team. We wrote them off. They're a good team because they made Seattle look like trash last week. And Lions have a good defense. Yeah, Lions proved they had a good defense last week.
Well, they did lose two key players in that game. Keep that.
Well, yeah, no, I get that. But that's what I'm getting. This is the Seahawks aren't as bad as we thought they were last week, and I think it's because Rams are a lot better than we thought.
And keep it. Seattle, for whatever reason, always plays good in Detroit. I don't know why, but they go to that. They go to Ford, and they always just step it up there. So
speaking on that Detroit defense, though, some of the things they weren't able to do are bizarre. Again, Seattle's out there 2 starting tackles, and they only had 1 sack the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even Hutchinson doing it.
Yeah. Part of me probably feels like it's a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. We beat the Chiefs at home. It's like massive calm down. That you like the way they were reacting, you would have thought they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you'd be shocked how many times it happens. You see teams, they beat the Chiefs and they lose the next week because emotionally they just can't get back up. They're so spent because they beat the Chiefs. They beat the big bad Chiefs. They just can't get back up for it. And it's really quite interesting. And I think that's a big factor as well with the Lions.
So I wanted to point this out. Jerry Miller said it in the chat. A moment that I thought was going to be the funniest moment of the week, which somehow got topped later that night. But the ref stopping Gino and saying, I'm talking to
America.
But somehow that was not the funniest moment of the week, which, I can't wait to get to that.
Yeah, there's a couple. Look, just think about it. I don't have my computer to make all the clips I want. I do have some clips I will show later, but yeah, there were some good bits this week. Look, Detroit. I'm not overly concerned about Detroit. Week 2 played a very good Seattle front. Look, Jared Goff and Geno Smith played pretty identically. Only difference is Goff gave a pick 6. Yeah. That's the only difference.
Yeah,
and ended up being the deciding factor in the game.
Both of these guys are easy to root for in that they were written off by previous teams, got to their new systems, and both of them have done very well. Both very easy to root for, and I'm happy to see that both of them stepped into these roles to reinvigorate these two franchises. And, this is a game we potentially could see in the playoffs again.
Potentially, yeah. We'll see how it plays out. Moving on to our next game. We can talk about some good football. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears.
Oh.
Look, I remember when I said a few weeks ago, when we talked about 5th-year options for 2021 players, you both said Justin Fields was going to get this option. And I was the one who said it's going to depend on this season. Games like this are why.
This is my not Stonks player of the week.
Interesting.
Hold on. I'm going to go back to something I said earlier. Rex Ryan said 2 smart things this week. One of them was about the Chicago Bears. This isn't all on.
We'll get there.
This isn't all on the Chicago Bears. This isn't all on Justin Fields. This is partly on the offensive coordinator. If you look at how he's playing right now, it's very similar to last year, where they're trying to make him into something he's not, which is a pure pocket passer.
Yeah, I get that. But there are some of they're horrible. They're horrible ones. Like that's the wide open one right by the end zone. There's 2 really bad ones.
Yes.
And the single biggest problem Fields has that needs to be fixed yesterday, he is holding onto the ball way too long. Way too long.
I think part of that is seeing ghosts. I think part of that is trying to be forced into being a pocket passer. And let's be honest, you still can't trust that Bears offensive line. You really can't.
No, but he needs to start getting rid of the ball then, because that's
or start running, which it doesn't seem like they want him to do.
He's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he's getting hit on 6.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get the ball out by 3. Like this is a lot quicker than college, guys. Like you need to be better than this. And the other one is he's missing his reads, or he's either missing his reads or he's scared of his reads. And I'm not sure which one it is, because there's one play where there are 3 players wide open. And he is staring at them. He has seen he's gone through his progressions and he's gotten it perfect. They're wide open. There's no players. There's no defensive players around him, but he's scared of throwing the ball. Like he cocks it and then doesn't throw. And it's what, like, are you scared of throwing it for throwing the pick? Are you?
Is he looking for the big play?
Yeah, I that's concerning. That's the one thing where, Chance, you're right. I'm worried if I'm Chicago about that. That's what I'd be looking at going, because getting the ball out quicker, you can work on.
Right.
If you're hesitating to throw because you're scared of a pick, that's concerning. You need to figure that one out.
Here's what I'll say. And the reason I brought up the big play is you look at let's compare two Ohio State quarterbacks real quick. CJ Stroud and Justin Fields. If you go back and look at the film, and this is me being the Ohio State fan speaking, if you look at how they each played comparatively, Stroud's did make a ton of those shorter throws and the dink and dunk. If you look at how Fields played, he plays a lot of I'm throwing it deep or I'm running. That's it. And that's why I brought up is looking for the big play, because that's what he did in college. It was essentially a ton of out routes or deep slants, all of that shit. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know what he's doing. It's not, but this isn't Ohio State. This is the NFL, and you're not going to get that.
Yeah, like the offense scheming is bad. There's some plays pointing out where like they have two guys running the exact same route right next to each other. Just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that one was weird. And then there was the crossing route where like one's going that way, one's going that way. But the apex was meant to be when they were crossing each other, and it was just weird.
And again, like I get him being not staunch for you guys. There's somebody else I have like.
I have someone else.
So he's just not staunch for Mike for the week.
Yeah.
He was close.
I got somebody else, but yeah.
I'm gonna go to the other side of the ball. I'm also giving my stomp. Mike Evans was an absolute beast in this game.
Yeah, he must have heard me say this might be his first non-1,000-yard season. He took that personally.
And
you take it to Baker.
Well, Baker's look good. Like
Baker's look solid.
Like Matt, is that rubbing salt in the wound right now?
No, because I didn't like Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but him playing well right now, is that rubbing a little bit?
No, not really, because here's the thing. As a Browns fan for as many years as I've been, I have seen the ups of Baker Mayfield and I have seen the downs of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And normally after a couple ups, there's about to be a down.
Yeah, I still don't trust Baker in the long term, and I don't trust Todd Bowles in the long term either.
Right.
But Chicago, weirdly enough to say they're a disappointing unit because again, didn't have that attention, but considering all the moves they made in the offseason, just to get Justin Fields going, all the improvement Justin Fields made last year, it's a bit of a surprise they're not doing as well as I thought they'd be doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the forever and always this season's going to have the question of did they make the right decision, and if they get another number one pick next year, I mean,
they pull the trigger if they get it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they have Caleb Williams, yeah, they're pulling the trigger on that. But if they've got a top 5 pick next year, and one of these like Sanders or someone falls,
mm-hmm.
I'm not 100%. Here's the thing: if they have a top 5 pick, which they might have 2.
Yeah,
they could have 2 in the top 5. That's right.
I wouldn't be shocked if they just say we're going to give you one more chance, and we're giving you someone you are somewhat familiar with, in the best receiver in college football right now.
Did he ever play with Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yes, he did. It's his last year.
Okay, that's good.
That's going to be a lot. Because then they're going to have to. If they go one more year, they're going to have to give him his 5th year.
Here's the thing. Yeah, yes, they're going to have to give him his 5th. No, they don't. This is only year 3. They can.
I know. Yeah, but you
they have to do it by next May.
But I was about to say they can always do a Daniel Jones type situation where you just play him on his 4th, and then you negotiate that contract then.
Yeah, look at the Giants.
Yes, look, we're not saying he's not falling outside of the top 2. But the point is, you don't know what that second pick is going to be. We all know the first pick is going to be the goddamn Cardinals. None of us are fucking stupid. Yeah. Although if Josh Dobbs has anything to say about it, that might not be the case.
I don't know. We'll get to it. Yeah.
Well, no. Let's talk about Josh Dobbs and the Cardinals as they took on the G-men at home.
I said this last week. Management tanks. These guys are playing with heart, and I love watching it. These guys are wanting to win. This is like a team that is just going out and going, fuck all of yous. We're going to win this game. And they just don't have the talent. That's
And
the
look,
problem.
for a while, it looked
I'd
like
rather
they were
have
going to
Josh
win
Dobbs
this
as
game.
my QB right now.
Look, for a while, that they were going to win this game, and I was ready to come on. Because, like, look, let's not mince words. For about 2 quarters and change, the Giants were playing like absolute shit. Like, they looked
No, for the first 6 quarters of the season. For the first 6 quarters of the
the first
season.
6 quarters, they looked fucking awful on all fronts.
Yep.
At one point, they were down 20-0 to this team. To this team.
Yeah. Like, this is a team that is playing with so much heart and so much grit and just desire to try and win. They just don't. They're an XFL team. They just don't have the talent. And now with Buddha injured, like, there goes their best player. Like, they're just. And yeah, the Giants are a terrible team. Like, the Giants are done. This season's done. Like, they're.
Like, this game said a lot more about the Giants than it did the Cardinals. If you're struggling against this Cardinals units, oh, God help you. God help you.
And you have the 49ers on a short week. Oh, Thursday night.
That game's going to be unwatchable. That is going to be the most unwatchable game of the year.
Bad.
Like, I don't know what's opening this week at the movies. I might buy tickets to something.
Expendable.
We're going to the Expendables.
Expendables 4.
I'll go see Expendables 4.
Which apparently is terrible. But
Hey, you can always just go see an actual good movie, and that is Haunting in Venice.
I do want to see that.
Yeah,
I do want to see that.
So.
I'm seriously considering going to the movies.
I'm just talking to Chance.
I already know I am. I'm going to the movies. I'm not watching that.
I'm like, I don't care.
I'll be putting together a house. So,
but the point is, yeah, this. Look, I know, like, and look, you look at the style of the end of the Daniel at the end of the game. Daniel Jones went through over like 300 yards, but like, look at the team he's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the situation he was in. Like, that's not impressive to me.
I know. Like, everyone's going around, oh my God, how impressive was the second half? No, it wasn't.
No,
You shouldn't have been in this fucking position in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. The fact that you were there.
Yeah. Like,
It's
it's
ridiculous.
just, the other thing, Saquon being out, they're done. Giants are
That's
done.
the other thing.
apparently he's not. He's still up for playing on Thursday. They're not ruling him out, which is
I'm sorry,
ridiculous.
They're idiotic.
Next week, maybe he's not playing Thursday. No way. They'd be
Like,
if they play him Thursday, everyone deserves to be fired. That is moronically.
I
Even
agree with you.
Joe
I'm
Judge
just letting you
wouldn't
know
do
what's
that. That's stupid.
I know that that's been said, but that'd be moronically stupid.
But yeah, Giants.
But it is the Giants we're talking about. So
Yeah,
But like, look,
coach.
if Joe Judge was in charge, I don't even think he'd play Saquon at that point. There's no way Brian Dable's that stupid.
No, Brian Dable's a good coach. He's just got a really bad team around him at the moment.
But yeah.
This is
They
the guy who
overachieve.
last year was coach of the year. Like, there's, this isn't all on Dable. But Jesus, the Giants are bad. Giants are bad.
Giants, this is not a win to be proud. What the hell happened? I didn't get that.
was that you? Was that you?
I didn't do that. I didn't do this. Giants, bottom line, this is not a win to be proud of.
No.
I'm just gonna say that right now.
You're gonna get murdered next week.
Yeah. Up next, we have who's up next? Oh yeah, here we go. Battle of the NFC West: San Fran versus the Los
Rams are
Angeles
good.
Rams.
Rams are good.
That's what I wanted to talk. Like, one of the key of any team that lost this week. Yes, they lost the game, but the Rams showed that they are legit. And
I'm so mad at myself.
They
I'm
also
so
showed
angry at
McVay
myself.
can.
I
they
let
also-
you fuckers talk me out of it, and I'm so mad at myself.
real quick. It also shows that McVay cannot get past the Kyle Shanahan hump.
Well,
he did it
he's
once.
not regular.
He did it
Not
once.
He
regular.
did
That's
it
all that
once.
He did it the one time it mattered. That's all that matters. No, the Rams were good. The Rams were really good. 49ers are the best team in football at the moment. Like, they're the class to beat.
Agreed.
Team of destiny right now.
Like, yeah, they're the ones to beat. It's really
You're a-
scary. Thinking about
Your QB just came back from Tommy John's, and this motherfucker looks like he's like he never lost a step, and he's Mr. Irrelevant.
Matt Stafford is slinging, and I'm impressed.
Two words: Puka Nakua.
Yeah, who the fuck is this guy?
yeah.
All of a sudden looks like the front runner for Rookie of the Year.
So he's the other rookie of the year. And my other favorite part about all of this is everything he's doing, potentially making Cooper Kupp look like, is he a system wide receiver? Like, is he not as good as we all thought he was? And the Rams are probably sitting there going, God damn it, we could have gotten a first for him. Now they might not.
Yeah. And they just paid him, if I remember correctly, a season ago, too.
Yeah, it is him.
Yeah. But, I mean, look, Rams are a legitimately good team. They're going to be in and around the conversation come January. We'll see what happens. Like, they've played two tough teams. Like, it's not like they've, there's a couple of teams that we'll talk about who have played very easy teams.
Two tough division teams, too. These are their rivals.
Two tough division teams. And, they haven't had the free one like other teams have. So Rams are legit. 49ers, best team in football. It's going to be really tough to beat the 49ers this year. And the NFC is theirs to lose at this point. I cannot wait for week 5. Week 5 is
week 5 Sunday nights must watch.
Oh my God, I cannot. I have not been this excited for a Cowboys game, I think, ever in my entire life. I just cannot wait to see that game. Those two teams play each other because they are just two of the best teams in football right now.
Yeah, this is, I think, what we call a Pyrrhic victory for the Rams because, granted, McVay, for whatever reason, just cannot beat Shanahan. If the regular season, he cannot beat Shanahan. But Rams still pretty solid performance, 23 points against that front. Biggest problem is turnovers for Stafford. Stafford, he threw 2 picks. One was not his fault. One I will just put on him. One was him. One was not. But still, Rams, a lot of reasons to be optimistic. And when Cooper Kupp is back, this team could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Up next, sorry, Mike, we gotta talk about the Jets. The New York Jets taking on the Dallas Cowboys. This game contained my not staunch player of the week. Welcome back, Zach Wilson.
And so here's the thing, and I saw this coming a mile away going into this game. With that offensive line and that defensive line of the Cowboys, this was inevitable. Zach Wilson is the worst decision-making quarterback I possibly have ever watched. And, I mean...
who you've watched in your time.
Mike, I'm going to be honest with you real quick. When they drafted him, I literally said that's Sam Darnold 2.0, and it looks exactly like that.
Oh, no, he's worse.
Sam Darnold, if they still had Sam Darnold, they wouldn't be this bad.
If they had Sam Darnold, there's still playoff hope. They're not. Yeah. They're not anymore.
Hey, Mike, I got a question for you right now. Who would you rather have right now, Justin Fields or
Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson.
Chris Traveler.
Nah, I'm giving you those two options: Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, because
just as bad.
I would argue the opposite. You'd be in a much better position.
No, I'd argue you Fields can at least run the fucking thing.
So we only lose 30-13 then.
No, you would.
Look,
you'd be within a touchdown each game.
No, here's the problem. The O-line in this game specifically was your big problem. The O-line, O-line.
You want to trade shitty left tackle for shitty left tackle?
Yeah, Mike. You know who you can blame for this, or you can thank for this? Bill Belichick.
Well, yes, 100%.
He's the one who prevented you from drafting an offensive tackle.
Yep.
What I did want to say on this side, Zach Wilson, he made one phenomenal throw and he made one very good throw, and that was it.
Everything was a phenomenal throw.
It was not the Wilson one. Not the Wilson one.
Okay, I was about to say we cannot say that's a phenomenal throw. That was a phenomenal catch.
The phenomenal throw actually, Lazard stepped out of bounds, so it did not count.
Okay.
But
yes,
the Lazard throw that was not on Wilson. That was on Lazard for not knowing where he was. But The Wilson throw was Wilson being Wilson and making a play out of nothing. But what I was going to say, Dak Prescott played about as efficient a football as you're ever going to see. He was just like a laser. He wasn't doing anything, reinventing the wheel on any of these plays, but was so efficient going down the field. They kept their offense on the field. Like more than 2/3 of the game, they were on offense. The Cowboys had to kick 5 field goals, though. You have to keep that in mind
my biggest concern with the Cowboys at this point. Their red zone offense is pretty terrible.
Yeah,
it is. Again, this is a damn good defense. It still is. Now it's imploding now. After that loss, I think that they've started to go, what the fuck? And the Breece Hall and Sauce Gardner tweets were not good. They were not good after this game.
Breece Hall, I get his frustration because, you
gave him 3
clearly
carries.
built your entire offensive game plan around.
You very much understand his frustration more than anything.
That one guy is now hurt.
Mm.
So, we got to switch the game plan. Against, a heavy blitzing team, you should run the ball more. And Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook combined for 8 carries. You can't count the carries they had on 2 hands. Or we count on 2. You can count on 2 hands. That's how many carries they got. Why are we not running the football more with 2 of our best players on offense?
Yeah.
Zach Wilson is going to win this game for us?
I 100% agree. No, I'm more saying they're a bad look. It's a bad look, given who you just lost as your leader of this group, and now the defense, which is this lauded, incredible defense, is starting to break away at the seams.
The stuff on Sauce is a little overblown. The whole stat was the stat line was tweeted out where CeeDee Lamb had 143 yards on Sauce. That's not true. CeeDee only got 1 target when Sauce was on him, and he broke the pass up. In fact, it was nearly a pick 6.
Yes, broke it up.
The direction. So, but yeah, this defense is clearly frustrated because they know they do not believe in Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
this whole organization does not believe in Zach Wilson.
They need to get a real quarterback in there yesterday, and I don't care who it is. Carson Wentz right now would be better in here. I'm
say you're getting him for nothing. Sign him.
Carson Wentz right now would be better than Zach Wilson because at least the team would have a glimmer of hope. They know what Zach Wilson is. They don't know what Carson Wentz is. If it's going to be good or bad, they don't know. So they might be like, "Hey,
Carson Wentz in a family Hackett offense might be must-watch television." I'd be excited for that now that I think about it. But yeah, Cowboys again. Defense looked really good. Offense didn't need to do anything.
They did what they had to do.
They did what they had to do.
Aubrey looked good.
Yeah, Aubrey did look good. But yeah, that's about it. Cowboys fans, just wait. Wait.
Last season, I was very hard on the Eagles because of who did they play. I'm going to say the same thing for the Cowboys. Who have the Cowboys played?
Yes.
They haven't. They played the Giants and they've played the Jets. They play Cardinals this weekend and then they play the Patriots. The 49ers is their first real test.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll see what happens on that game. I am all but certain they're going to lose one of the next 2 games. I think they're going to look ahead at that 49ers game and they're going to blow one of these. Now, we'll see. I don't think it's the Cardinals one. I think it's the Patriots one. I think the Patriots one they're really going to blow. But that being said, this defense is that damn good. They can carry this team. I can see this team that this defense is that goddamn good. They can carry this team to the conference championship. Now it's all going to depend on it because I think conference right now is 49ers Cowboys. The way these 2 teams are playing, it's insane.
Yeah, but again, that just predicates on not knowing who Dallas is. And it's real.
So-
We know who this team is.
So, Jacob, I actually agree with you 110% because they seem to do this every year with the Cowboys. They seem to front load their schedules with weaker teams, and what happens when they get to the stronger part of their schedule? The losses start to pile up. It's the same thing every year, and we all know why. They love getting Cowboys nations up in arms and excited because they drive a lot of box office in the NFL. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't you?
But you know what? That does make it more fun for me because you know what? I love seeing Cowboys fans get excited and get cocky and get arrogant.
Everyone does.
Because when they get smacked, you know it's coming. It makes it that much funnier. Mike was so angry at this game he left the stream. Next game we're talking about, Mr. Unlimited.
Okay. This
Very
is,
fucking limited.
I want to start off with this. This is one of two games that shows me, or if I shouldn't say a few games, I shouldn't say two. It's been quite a few. It's been quite a few in the first couple of weeks that shows me the NFL referees do not give a shit about pass interference anymore. They really don't.
No, it's not that they don't give a shit. What this is showing me, the NFL refs aren't willing to make the big call.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give a shit when it's like in the third quarter and doesn't mean anything.
But when
Then
it comes
when
down to the last play,
when they have to make the big call, they
I
won't
know
do
exactly
it.
what play you're talking about, man. We'll get there. It's,
I know.
The Giants Cardinals was a game of two halves. This was a game of two halves because Russell Wilson turned up as two different fucking players.
he did.
Like,
I don't have a specific stat. Look, his stat line's really good. It's front loaded because most of his stats are from the second half, and also look, the Broncos at one point were leading by 18 points. They even broke the curse 16. Here's the problem: there's another more powerful curse that we didn't even know about. In the last 9 games in which the Broncos have led at halftime, they have lost every single one.
this,
Someone pointed out to me.
I am really starting. Like, look, this loss isn't 100% on Wilson. A lot of it is. There's a really bad fumble. There is a really bad pick in the second half that cost them the game. Peyton's got to wear some of this. Peyton has to wear some of this with the coaching decisions he's making. This was the worst coach team last year. You're not doing much better, mate. You're really not. And I don't know, like, his press conference afterwards was fairly scathing, and Wilson's being set up to be the scapegoat of all.
Oh yeah,
this.
we all saw that coming.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, what can you skate? You can't cut him.
You can bench him.
You can bench him, but like, what does
You
Jared
can bench him
Stidham
Hey, I'm with Jacob because who was Sean Payton pimping out all offseason?
Jared Stidham.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mike.
does Jared Stidham give you a better chance to win? I don't think so.
Hey, Mike.
Honestly,
do you
with how he played
Wilson
last year at the end of the last,
Do I want Wilson with Hackett again? No.
No, for a third of the contract, because Broncos can do that. They don't.
but Jacob,
They just try and
we
get rid of
we saw
something.
the combo of Hackett and Wilson last year.
I'm like,
All right, maybe not the Jets, but some other team. Hey, Vikings, once you've traded Kirk Cousins, do you want him for a third or so? Like that?
they wouldn't even do
They're going
that.
to try and find a way to cut down this contract. And if it means trade, they did it with Von Miller. They've done it before where they've held on to where they basically sold a pick for a certain amount of money. Like that.
I mean, the Falcons just did it for Matt. Thank you,
Matt Ryan.
So it's not illogical. You got a point, but normally it's done with like a year or two left on the contract, not 4
Not
fucking
5.
years.
Yeah, no, I get it. Look, this is this one. This is the worst contract in football.
Second worst.
Kyler Murray like a worst.
No,
No,
just John Watson would like a word with both of you.
Yeah, no, look, Watson's is bad. Watson's is bad because of what you had to give up. That the trade, I think, is the worst part of the contract. This contract is, I think, the worst because you didn't have to do it. The Browns had to do it if they wanted Watson. If you wanted Watson, you had to pay him.
That I'll give you.
The Wilson contract's the worst because they didn't have to do it. They could have waited. He was under contract for 2 more years.
There's a worse contract, and it's also a Wilson. It's just the fact that he's under contract makes that the worst contract in football.
You can cut him.
Contract Zach Wilson has.
You can cut him, and it will not destroy your team.
Oh, I would disagree. I would disagree at Zach Wilson being the other that had destroyed the team.
But like, that's why I think this is the worst contract in football. Kyler's contract is bad. Don't get me wrong, but there will be a team desperate enough to think that they can fix him. Like, he's a young quarterback that someone will think that they can do something with. Might not be. They'll might only give you a fifth for it, but there will be a team that will take that contract on because out of a desperation, no one will touch this contract unless the Broncos front load most of it.
At the same time, though, again, this loss is not all on Wilson. There's some really bad coaching decisions. The defense bent at the worst time. Made Sam Howell look like a pretty damn good quarterback. I like Sam Howell, but pretty good.
Here's the thing. When he got drafted, I was still on the Sam Howell train. I was one of the few still on the Sam Howell train. He played at North Carolina. I mean, most of his weapons were gone. Look what happens now that he has weapons again. I thought his senior year was only down because he lost so many weapons. He's got weapons again. He looks great. He's got Eric Bieniemy as his offensive coordinator. Yeah. And sure, was the offense complaining all training camp that Bieniemy is too hard? Look what that results are because of it. So
at the same time, the Broncos did have one major hole in their defense. I believe it was in the second quarter or the third quarter. Kareem Jackson got ejected for targeting. Here's the problem. The Broncos only dressed 3 safeties. Kareem Jackson, Justin Simmons, and other guy. So once Kareem Jackson went down, their defense is compromised.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
And how they to exploit it.
But look, the enemy's been the biggest difference to Washington this year. And to Sam Howell. It's unbelievable how within 2 games you can tell the difference. Like you look at that team and you go, wow, yes, Bieniemy. Like, I don't think we're talking about it enough with the Chiefs. Maybe there's a reason why the Chiefs' offense doesn't look so great.
Mm-hmm. Matt Nagy,
a great coach, and Bieniemy fucking is. And I think that is what's showing here. I agree with you there. There was a bad it was an ejection. But like,
no. I'm not saying he needed to be ejected. I'm just saying the Broncos made a bad decision by only dressing 3 safeties.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. But and that's again, you're right. It's not 100% on Wilson. He is just a major contributing factor, and unfortunately, he is going to be the scapegoat. It's coming. He is going to be the one that they somehow.
Look, the dude pulled off one of the greatest plays I've seen from the Broncos in a very long time, where he actually completed a Hail Mary. Here's a funny thing, though. Russell Wilson was the recipient or was the benefactor of the Hail Mary a couple of years back.
Right.
This one, I call it the Hail Mary Part 2, where he completed the Hail Mary and had to go for 2 to tie the game into overtime. Cortland Sutton gets hit with a blatant pass interference.
Blatant.
That is not called.
Blatant. Absolute blatant. On first watch, I was like, "Oh, I could see what they're not calling that this year." And then on the replay, because this year every game so far, the ones that are like they get there half a second early, they're not calling them. They haven't called them all year, and I was like, "Oh, that was kind of this one." And then on the replay, you're like, "Oh no, he's there like 2 seconds early." Like that was blatant. That one was blatant. But yeah.
That's gonna do it. Broncos are now fall to 0-2, and things. The ride, like I said, the ride doesn't stop. It just starts over. Up next, we got Sunday Night Football. The Miami Dolphins taking on the New England Patriots.
Raheem Mostert is a god.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert looked really
good. This is your current MVP frontrunner.
Tyreek Hill or Tua?
One of them. Pick one. Honestly, like damn, they look good. Damn, they look good. They look scary, and I'm really angry at that the Chargers didn't beat them in week 1 because great, now they have one extra win. This Dolphins are looking really good. Patriots again. I'm going to give credit to Bill O'Brien. Like Mac looks better. Doesn't look like he's not great, but he looks better than he did. And a lot of it, and there's another player who could be using Bill O'Brien right now, and is I'm sure missing him.
I won't say missing him. I won't say
you're not missing him. Like, no,
he looks good under him, and he's looked shit since.
Well, again, let's stay focused on this game. Kind of want to give not songs to Bill Belichick just for this moment alone.
He's learning more. He's hearing it from upstairs.
I'm mad.
Like the sassiest old man challenge flag throw I've maybe ever seen.
It was a dumb challenge too.
It was a dumb challenge. I don't know why he did that. I don't have the clip of it, but there's like Bill Belichick is. I'm not sure what's happening to him. I think the reality of the situation is setting in because he looks so fucking pissed off with this team.
As I said, this could be Bill's last year at the Patriots. If I am the Patriots, I am throwing everything I can at Mike Vrabel.
They already have their new coach picked out. That's a not so hidden secret. That's why they paid Gerard Mayo so much money to stay on as the associate head coach instead of taking a head coaching job elsewhere. It is not a secret. They have their new head coach already.
If I'm Bill, as I said, look, I'll probably end up giving both of you heart attacks. I think he should go like Bengals fire Zach Taylor and Bengals go all in and go get Bill.
Please no.
That would be the funniest thing ever. You want to know why? Because he would finish his career with the same team or with the other team founded by Paul Brown.
But that's
again, Miami's offense looked good. Defense looked solid. I mean, they gave some tons of plays in garbage time. I will give credit to Cole Strange. Nearly kept the game going on a lateral, which I thought was a first down. On replay, I was like, oh no, he's short.
He was short by a good half yard.
Which, it's funny, back-to-back weeks, the Patriots have lost by mere inches. And it's funny. And I feel like none of us feel bad for the Patriots in this case.
Not really.
No.
I'm more annoyed. I don't feel bad for the Patriots. I'm more annoyed that that's one more win the Dolphins have in division. Like that, I need the Dolphins to stop winning because I'm scared of them. This is a scary team and they look good, and I just don't want them winning games.
Yeah. Moving on to our Monday night double header. Let's talk about the game that no one gave a shit about this night. The New Orleans Saints versus the Carolina Panthers.
So I will say I watched that game. I have them on side by side. YouTube TV allows you to put them on, and you can choose the audio. And I do not want to listen to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, so I did have the audio on from this game. So
maybe it's a hot take. I never minded Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Oh.
You need to get your ears fucking checked.
Yeah. So
what I like
better
than
the shit they had a few years ago.
What this game showed, because I did watch the whole thing, the Saints are the most boring football team in the league right now. They are
up there.
Yeah, they're not doing anything exciting. They have the most vanilla playbook in all of the league. Right now, with Jamal Williams going down mid-game yesterday, and now they have Toby Jones in, I don't know how much of a run game they're going to have for the next couple of weeks. Their defense is good. Like, they're not spectacular, but they're good. They are a bend-and-don't-break defense. They're not letting teams make explosive plays. They're letting them get 1 or 2 yards of play here and there. But the thing is they were going against Carolina, who has an awful offensive line who has really a pretty bad defense. And if you watch the game, they let Adam Thielen catch 5 yard after 5 yard after 5 yard play. If you're playing a better receiver than Adam Thielen, somebody who's more mobile than him, they're going to really exploit you on plays like that. New Orleans is fortunate to be 2-0 right now. I think part of it last week they went against an equally vanilla team in Tennessee. When they play a real team, I'm worried for them.
Yeah,
However,
and that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Before I just going to say with the Panthers, Bryce Young is getting rattled. These are growing pains that are going to happen when you have a team with an offensive line and a defense like this. He has okay weapons, but this is expected. This is nothing that anybody who, if you followed what was going on with the Panthers in the offseason, if you didn't see this happening, I don't know how you did. The fact that they only lost by 3 is actually impressive.
Impressive.
I am very much on the train of don't draft a minuscule QB. So this is what I've expected from Bryce Young the entire time.
I mean, look, one of the best QBs of all time was only like 5'8", so I'm not concerned. Drew Brees.
He was 6 feet even.
Drew Brees was not 6 feet. That's a fucking lie. Drew Brees was not 6 feet.
Hey,
Drew Brees was 6 feet even.
I agree.
There's no way. There's no way Drew Brees is 6 foot.
I agree with everything Mike said about the Saints. Unfortunately, they're going to be an 11-win team. Maybe 10. But you're right. When they play a real team, they're gonna lose.
Oh, they're gonna get that playoff game against. They're gonna get that playoff game against Philadelphia or Dallas, and wow, are they gonna get rocked?
They play 4. I think they play about 4 real teams outside of the NFC South because I don't think at the South are any real teams. And they're going to cannibalize each other. But yeah, the Saints schedule, holy shit.
It's easy.
Packers next week is a tough game for them. I think they'll lose that. I don't know if they'll lose. I don't know if they'll lose the Patriots game. Maybe.
That's going to be 2 great defenses playing each other. That's what that's going to be.
Low scoring game there, yeah.
Yeah, they'll lose the Jags game.
Kamara will be back for that game too, though. So,
so they might not lose.
The Vikings is a maybe.
I think
they're going to beat the Vikings.
I think they beat the Vikings.
Yeah.
The Rams, they'll get murdered.
Yeah.
Probably.
And the Lions. That's 4. Everything else is a toss-up. This is this team, and you say that they're going to get murdered by the 5th seed. They might not, because the North ain't great, and the North might they might have less wins, and suddenly the Saints have 11 and the North have 10, and they're playing the 6th seed, who are probably the Rams, so they're going to get murdered again anyway.
We ain't talking about that right now. We talking about this.
No, I know.
Saints.
I'm just more like.
I know.
God, these teams sucks, and just can someone blow up the NFL need to blow up the NFC and just they need an expansion. We need to
restructure these conferences.
Yes. They need expansion yesterday, so that gives them the excuse to completely blow up these conferences.
All right, anyway. But Matt, time has come. Let's talk about it.
No, the time has not come because of the report that just came out 25 minutes ago.
Oh boy, what happened? Save it.
No. We're starting with this. Per Josina Anderson, I'm told there are initial discussions of Browns running back Nick Chubb potentially needing 2 surgeries to address his injuries following Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh, with the first surgery coming within the next 7 to 10 days and the second occurring several weeks after. Per source, this is preliminary talk. I'm also told Chubb's injuries include his meniscus.
Well, I was going to say that because we want to build up to this, because right from the beginning, it's AFC North Ball. It's gonna be tough, hard-nosed football.
Fuck Minka
Fitzpatrick. Right from the jump, this game was off. Why? Deshaun Watson's very first throw was a pick 6.
No, that's not on Deshaun. I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying it happened. I'm saying it happened.
It happened.
What's the stat line say? Yeah.
I'm saying
No.
I'm not saying it's his
See,
fault.
this,
'Cause, like,
I will say this. This is an issue I've had with the NFL for years. When a ball is clearly gone off another player's hands because they have fucking cement hands,
It
and
needs to start.
tips,
Yeah.
they need a new turnover called a new turnover for the fact that receivers fuck up. That's something that they need. Like pass dropped for a turnover. Something
But it doesn't exist. So Deshaun Watson threw a pick six.
I know. I'm agreeing with that, but I'm just saying that we talk about stupid NFL rules, and that's one that I
But
hate.
look, I'm just saying the fact that was the very first play of the game tells you
Harrison
everything
Bryant
you need to know about the game you're about to watch.
It was. Here, hold on. This was a horrible game for the fact that it was literally all defense. Besides 2 or 3 plays, one from Pittsburgh, you had, I want to say, the other 2 were from the Browns. One being the Jerome Ford 64-yard touchdown run.
What was the other one?
I'm trying to. There was one
Really
earlier.
nice.
What was the other one?
Sorry, look. I'll give Watson a small look.
He's been great as a blocker.
Watson's my not stonks of the week, but he had one drive that was genuinely impressive, and it was the one straight after the pick. That drive,
where they got downfield to a field goal.
That drive was really good. Unfortunately, it ended in a field goal. Like it was like, come on, he
earned that.
Drive right. Drive right after that. My boy Kenny Pickett on a bad read. I will admit it was a bad read. Threw a pick inside the red zone. Cleveland didn't do shit with it, and on top of that, Nick Chubb, arguably the best player on that team, went down. He took a really bad shot, and here's how you know the shot was bad. They didn't show the replay, but you heard the audio of the replay played at Acrisure.
I
crowd go.
I sent it to Chance, and I've seen it.
I've seen it, and it's horrific. I get why they didn't show it, but like the fact that not on any of the shows at all today, none of them have showed the replay, which is good for them. Like good on the NFL, good on everyone involved for not showing it, because it's gruesome. It's bad. It's
Thing is, that was only the first price Cleveland had to pay in this game.
So here, the other play real quick. It was that towards one of the last drives, that dime ball he did throw to Amari Cooper right off the sideline, that the toe tap, foot.
Okay.
That was the second. That was the second play.
Okay, but point is, this is a big defense. This is a big defensive game, mostly because both offenses are absolutely used with the ball. Again, this is day 373 of me calling to fire Matt Canada. I know it's not all on him, but still, like, please.
Isn't it more than that at this point? Because this has been this is your third year with him, so aren't we in like the 600, 700?
No. Because I was willing to give him 2021, considering who we had taking snaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was willing to let that one slide. Last year, no. But you want to know how fluky this game was? This was how the first quarter actually didn't end.
Oh no! Yoink! And the Browns end up.
Get over here!
He loses the ball. And it's out of bounds inside the 10.
This is the single dumbest play I've ever seen.
Yep.
It's one
I thought the Colts Jags one last week was bad. That's worse.
Yep.
That was so dumb.
Yeah. Every single fan in attendance and watching this game on TV was sitting there wondering what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
What happened is you have the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers playing each other. And it's a game that made me decide to go to sleep at halftime because I just got fed up with these two teams. And I don't ever want to watch either one of these two teams on primetime ever again. That's coming from a Jet fan who's watched plenty of awful football.
Hey, Mike.
Look.
Hey, Mike. That was one play, and also, again, this was a very good defensive game. Just some stats. I hate Deshaun Watson. But some stats I want to bring up real quick. The Browns' defense in 2 games, first in the NFL in completion percentage at 46.8%, third in the NFL in yards per attempt, only allowing 4.3 yards per attempt.
I got some stats to come at you. First game was in a monsoon. The second game was against Kenny Pickett. So I don't give a shit about either of those stats.
That doesn't matter. When Jim Schwartz is your defensive coordinator, those are
I'm
mitigating
give it a little bit of here. They got a genuinely good defense. Both of your teams have a genuinely good defense.
We just lost our big offensive pieces.
Here's the thing. Unfortunately, Matt, you lost your only weapon you have all year, and you have a bottom 5 quarterback.
We have another one. We have another weapon.
Okay. You lost your best weapon, and you have a bottom 5 quarterback that you are paying like the best quarterback in football. Look,
you're getting no disagreement from me.
I know that. No, I know I'm not getting any disagreement from you here. But this is the single worst trade I have ever seen in football. This will go down. This is franchise destroying. I know it's the Browns. Look, this is what. Look, this is worse. This is worse than the Trey Lance one because at least they got out of it. It's done. They have moved on. They found Brock Purdy, somehow got lucky with Brock Purdy. You guys are done. This is you as a franchise for the next 3 years are done. There is nothing.
So you bring up Brock Purdy, and that's the reason I say we aren't done, because you look at the young quarterback we have sitting in the wings.
Pray and hope that you got to pray and hope that you got some kid that's going to get on nothing. When you're paying some guy $253 million.
Hey, crazier things have happened. I mean, we literally just saw it last year, so I can't sit here and say because DTR actually did do a good job against Jets starters. Or not Jets. No, excuse me, not Jets starters. Eagles starters.
That was a whole thing game.
No, that's why I corrected myself.
I get it. This is franchise. Look, Stefanski's going to lose his job from him. He's going to be the scapegoat. Your GM's going to lose his job.
GM is probably safe based off of the fact of all the great trades he's made. And
almost Super Bowl one.
I'm sorry.
I'm saying he's going to get a chance to pick a coach himself, because you have to remember Stefanski came before Barry. So he's going to get, they were supposedly a package deal, but he's going to get at least a chance to pick a coach on his own in a search.
Barry made the call. They decided we're going to pay a guy who at that point hadn't played for a year.
I can't say Barry made the call. The reason being, everyone ain't fucking... The Haslams were in that fucking meeting. Their son-in-law, who's high up in the organization, was in the meeting. Stefanski's in on the meeting.
I know.
Barry's in on the meeting.
The Haslams can't fire themselves. So
I know. My point is, they told him to. I'm Stefanski. I'm not denying Stefanski's not going to get blamed. I'm saying Barry will at least get a second chance. Barry will be given that chance.
Chance, don't think you're getting out of any of this.
I was gonna speak up just because as much as I like seeing Matt and Bloomberg show, and I do, I can't sit there and act like my offense has been doing really well. Look, I'll we have not been doing well. Kenny Pickett, and it's part of his offensive scheme, but part of it is also he's not it. Field, right?
He's Baker Mayfield. He's Baker Mayfield.
No.
Yes, he is. I called this when he got drafted. He is Baker motherfucking Mayfield, and I called this when he got drafted.
Look, he's only been playing. He's only started 13 games, I think.
And look what happened. His second year, he's starting to look like shit. What happened? Baker did the same thing. Oh.
Yeah, Baker had different every single year of his entire career.
We can't say that entirely. I was about to say. Not entirely true, because the head coach's second year was his offensive coordinator running almost the same offense. So that's why I'm like, there's an asterisk by that. But
yeah, look, I'm not completely absolved picking to blame. I'm just saying I think the dude still has room to grow. We have picked him for 4 years. He has time. I'm not overly concerned about how Pickett's playing right now. Again, 2 weeks in, a lot of season left. I'm not pushing the panic button. I'm not saying he's playing well. I'm not pushing the panic button. So look, I am praying.
I will say this. Chance, and this is something I said to you last week, the Browns and the 49ers run very similar defenses.
Yeah.
look what essentially the exact same defense did to him.
Yeah, but he did show improvement from week to week. Like he made some really great reads, followed by a couple like really like bad reads and bad throws. So again, he is showing improvement. Whether you want to admit it or not, he's showing improvement. Okay. And I'm not concerned.
Hey, his box score for week 2 was 15 of 30 for 222 yards, 1 interception.
I'm not hating the panic.
Let's go week 1. What was week 1? He got worse from week 1 to week 2. Yes,
he threw the ball less. He threw the ball a lot less week 2.
That's not Pickett is a problem. That's not the problem. No. Canada is the problem, and you've already addressed that. What the fuck is going on with Najee Harris?
Like what? There's a wall right in front of him. What do you want him to do?
Hey, to be fair, Chance, what did I call Najee? Chance, what did I call Najee Harris last year and this year?
I don't get the Trevor Richardson comparison because like he's barely gotten any touches. He's barely gotten the ball.
But that's my point. Why?
I don't know why.
Because he's not good. There's a reason they're talking about Jalen Warren replacing him in the starting lineup. If Jalen Warren's able to do the same shit or better shit with the same line, it's because Najee Harris isn't a lie.
His numbers from the last 2 weeks have been worse than Najee's with about the same amount of attempts.
This, however, is just. Your offense is going to cost you a playoff spot unless you fix it.
I know.
You have to get
You're not telling me anything I don't know.
I know that. Oh, I know that.
Their running numbers are the same. Yesterday, Jalen Warren, 4 catches, 66 yards. Let's go to game 1, shall we?
But out of the two of you right now, I'd rather be Pittsburgh because you guys have to fire one person and it will fix you, and it could potentially fix your team.
And if you hire the right younger team, they've got a younger roster. So with the two teams, yes.
Yep.
Our roster is actually younger if you go by the.
Okay, cool. You have a $230.
Hey, I'm not denying it.
Anchor.
And I agree with that.
$30 million anchor. If you cut him, you would be an illegal team. You would not be able to play. Your franchise is fucked for the next 5 years. Until you get out
three more after this.
You are fucked. This is they are never doing fully guaranteed contracts ever again. That is bad. Yeah,
I do want to say this though. Statistically, Deshaun Watson in the first few games of the season has never been a great player, so that's why I'm not totally panicking. I still don't like the motherfucker. I still don't think he's going to turn it around, but I have to go with all the statistics. And his picks are normally about the same as his touchdowns in the first 3 to 4 games of each year.
But here is the other thing. Can anyone just throw out once where a quarterback had not just one face mask, but 2 of them, and then
Jacob, did I not just say I don't think it's going to get turned around? I made that very clear.
How the fuck he didn't get it? He did not get kicked out of the game. I'll never know. He
didn't shove he didn't hit him, and literally just threw the ref's arm off of his chest. That's all he did. That's not a shove.
If anyone else does that, if any player not known as a quarterback does that, they're instantly.
It's literally just because he's a quarterback, and I am going to agree with you 110%.
Oh. Like he was getting frustrated, and he was getting frustrated and angry. And my God, that's not good. He looked bad, really, really bad.
I also do have to present this evidence real quick because Chance knows exactly what I'm bringing up. Chance, please share this real quick. There was. I said, Jacob, you brought up they don't want to make the big call.
Yeah.
4-time Pro Bowler. He's got
absolutely 100%. That was absolutely 100% a PI. I will give you that. It was holding. It should have been called. You should never have been in the position where that had to happen, though, because that offense was so bad. Pittsburgh's offense was that bad. You had this game in the bag. They scored 14 points off defensive.
They had -7 yards in the fourth quarter,
and you lost.
Yeah.
This is
look, as the only person here who's not giving up hope on my team. I will say
the
offense looked bad. The offense looked bad. I have faith in the turnaround. Just gotta figure some stuff out. My Stonks player of the week, actually it's tied. My 2 Stonks players.
It came from this game?
What?
It came from this game. All right, yes. If it's TJ, I'll give you TJ.
It's TJ and Highsmith. TJ and Highsmith combined for my not Stonks players of the weeks.
For not Stonks, okay.
I'm sorry, Stonks players. My Stonks players of the week.
Rip it out.
I already gave not Stonks to Mormon Ryan Luke. But congrats TJ becoming the leading sack artist in Pittsburgh's history. He now has the most sacks in any Steeler.
I will. I'll tip my cap to TJ.
Yes.
Alex Highsmith played great. I think we have like a really great pass rushing edge tandem between the 2 of them. We're gonna need it because we're gonna need the defense. Look, taking Baltimore, like our defense will keep us in games. We just need the offense to not, do something. To do something. So
I think that is every team in the AFC North besides the Bengals at this point.
I think.
Yes.
Can we just talk about how fucking disappointing the entire AFC has been so far this year outside of the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think that goes back to, once again, pointing out that this might be the most competitive conference of the 2. Like, there's going to be weeks.
It is ironic though. The NFC is now, I think they're like 9-0 against the AFC this year.
The NFC has 3 superpowers right now. So
but it's more that I'm more meaning like the AFC. They're not playing well. It's not like they've been really good, close, tight fought games. Like the closest we had was Chargers Dolphins. That was a good close. That was a good game. Yeah, that was a really good game between 2 AFC teams. We've not had that at all.
And to address Buck in the chat, what's happening with Najee is 1, we're not using him. 2, we do use him. There's a wall. And look, he's not the most escapable.
He's Trent Richardson. When you admit it, I will be so proud because the truth will set you free. Chance, how many times do we have to go over this? Who's my second favorite team in the NFL?
Pittsburgh.
I am saying this as a Pittsburgh fan, as someone who's lived and died as a Browns fan and a Pittsburgh fan since I was the age of 7. Najee Harris. My grandfather was born in Pittsburgh, so so to keep up with that, even though when he moved to Cleveland, he became a Browns fan. He rooted for both teams. There are 14 games out of, or now 15 games out of the year. I root for the Steelers. There are 2 I do not, and those are when they play the Browns. So it's just one of the things I do to keep my grandfather in my memory. As a Browns fan and a Steelers fan, he is Trent Richardson 2.0. And when you finally admit it, I promise you, sir, the truth will set you free.
But again, like you look at the things that he's up against, like he's like has a wall right in front of him where the block is supposed to be. What do you want to do?
Chance, in Cleveland, we said the exact same thing about Trent Richardson about 10, 12 years ago. Guess what? We were able to flip him for a first-round pick and fuck Indianapolis in the process.
That was funny.
Because people were convinced we weren't using him.
There are no holes. There are no holes for him to miss.
And that was what was said about Trent Richardson. That was what was said. And when he had a hole, guess what? He didn't hit it. That happens with Najee about half the times. He's a better version of Trent Richardson, but he is still Trent Richardson. And when you finally look at the film and admit it, the truth will set you free. I promise.
I looked at the film very close for this week. There's no hole for him to run to. Like the best plays he had where he took a broken play and turned into positive gains.
The truth will set you free, sir. The truth will set you free.
I'm telling you.
Let's look at next week.
Well, real quick, I got real quick. I'm the only one who talked about it. The Chubb injury. This something that needs to be said is this is the same knee that he fucked up while he was in Georgia.
Was the same one?
This is the exact same knee. This is potentially a career-ending injury for him because it is. Like it's a complete dislocation with almost every major ligament torn. Same thing happened to him last time.
Sorry.
Go ahead. That's what I said.
The two surgeries, his age, he ain't coming back from that. That's unfortunately. I think you're right. I think we have just seen the last of Nick Chubb, which sucks because he's one of the best running backs in the game.
I love watching Nick Chubb.
He has. He's been fantastic.
He is a consummate pro.
Yeah.
What other player do you see just score a touchdown and not even try to celebrate it? He's just trying to run off to the sideline.
Chubb outstanding. Like, who hates Chubb?
Unfortunately, it's not that it's proven the owner's right. Right's the wrong word, but it's going to be.
I think it's proving the owner's wrong.
It's going to be used as ammo. As in, it's going to be used as ammo for we're not paying you because if they had paid, okay, let's put it this way: if they had paid Nick Chubb and given him an extension, they'd now have to pay it.
We still have him off. We still have him for another year. Still have him for another year. But I do want to. I want to comment on what you said because you can argue that this is injury situation with a lot of the top running backs in the league right now. You're missing Eckler, you're missing Chubb, potentially missing Barkley, you're missing Jonathan Taylor, and look what's happening to those offenses without.
I know
the Chargers isn't working. Doesn't help the situation.
Look, I said this back in off season. I'm terrified of what the league's going to look like 10 years from now because of what they do to the running game. But
you could argue there's a slight argument that could be had that you do need to pay him a little more. Maybe not what there's got to be a middle ground somewhere in there. And I will say this: I don't think Cleveland's going to give up on Chubb. I think what they may do is restructure with an extension to kind of smooth out those numbers and add incentives to give him a chance to come back if he chooses to, but at a much smaller number. So it doesn't really hit the cap as much. If any GM can do it, it's probably Andrew Berry. But again, his age is a factor. You can argue he is the second best running back the Cleveland Browns has ever had. Honestly, that's not really an argument. It's the truth. And his numbers have mirrored that of some of the greatest running backs of all time. If this is the end, I think realistically, if he got to play more, it would have been a Hall of Fame. It would be a Hall of Fame career. Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in, and people won't look back at just five, 6 seasons of a career and be like, that's Hall of Fame career. But he was on that trajectory, and it sucks. I'm a miss him. But yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Nick Chubb. A lot of Browns went down this game. Nick Chubb went down. Brett Delpit went down. Zadarius Smith went down. Myles Garrett
Grant Delpit came back. Myles Garrett.
I'm not saying like the category most of those guys came back. No one that went down like for a while is likely Chubb. So yeah, it's not even a Pyrrhic victory. Like it's just like a bad day for the Browns. Sorry about that. And look, you can also partly blame Jacob because look, I will have Jacob on this in our group chat. He did say, "Are you guys have Chubb anytime soon?" Like 2 minutes later.
Oh yeah, I'd given him shit because I was like this. He was like, "Oh, this defense is amazing." And I said, "Yeah, but Chubb's running all over you," and that's the worst part about it. The Browns
10 carries, 64 yards.
Chubb anytime soon? I'm just like, well,
yeah, like you stopped Chubb anytime soon, and then you broke his leg the next freaking play.
10 carries, 64 yards. That tells you how good of a running back he is.
I mean, he was our number one running back for a reason. Like he was number one on my list. So
yeah.
Moving on to our that's it for the week we now look forward to the week that is week 3 prediction / stunks or not stunks. Jacob, I'll give the stunks duties to you for this week. Starting with our Thursday night game, we have the 49ers versus the New York Giants. A game I know we're all.
What is the spread on that? Like, how much are they favored by? Like, I'm taking the over regardless of the number.
It's only like it's not even that much. It's only like 10 points or something.
I'm taking it.
Hang on. I'm looking this up. Because I need to. That's my job. Is fantasy. Hang on. It is. They are favored by it's 10 points.
Yeah,
it's a 10-point spread
in San Francisco. Yeah,
how is that not 14?
Yeah, this is a blowout.
Yeah, I'm taking Giants. I'm taking the Niners on that one, and that one I'll take it to cover the spread.
Use your survivor and eliminator pools on the Niners this week. It's a gimme.
Yeah. This game could be very ugly.
Yeah, this game is going to be extremely ugly. So because it's going to be so ugly, let's go. Okay. How does Brock play against that defense? How does he
Against that defense?
He's going to do it all in the first half. He's going to get like 150 and 2 touchdowns and not have to do anything else. He stonks in that regard. He's not going to put up statistics, but he's going to dominate them.
Yeah, I'll go stonks for Purdy. All right. Up next, Matt. What about you?
I'm honestly gonna go Purdy.
Stonks.
Yep.
All right. Up next, we got the Indianapolis Colts taking on. I think that could be. I'd say their rival, their former home in Baltimore, in the Ravens.
Damn, like this one's This is 7.5 points.
Ooh, not bad actually.
So the Richardson issue is there. You know, we still don't know 100% either way if he's playing.
I feel like he's not playing. There's no way.
Yeah, if they're at 7.5 points, he's not playing.
So I'm definitely taking Baltimore in this 100%. And if you're going for the betting aspect, yeah, I think I take them with the points. The Colts defense is not that great against the run, and that's where Baltimore specializes. So Baltimore is going to handily win this game.
I think Baltimore will win this game. I don't know if it's going to be handedly because, honestly, the Todd Monken offense hasn't looked the greatest. It's looked great in the second half of each game, but that first half, they've really struggled. And I'm sorry, right now, OBJ does not look like a receiver you should be paying $18 million.
Probably not playing.
15, sir. 15. Essentially 18. 15.
However,
it's 15 and a bonus, 3 million base, 18 total.
Oh Jesus, that's right. You're right. Okay, but what were we saying, Jacob?
I said, however, Zay Flowers does.
Flowers does.
Yes, he does.
Zay Flowers looks like, and you're getting him for fairly cheap. So
he's on a rookie deal. So yeah.
Is he our stonks not stonks for this?
He's stonks.
I'm gonna go Mark Andrews.
Ooh.
I can't right now, just because I've seen a Todd Monken offense before, and those tight ends get ignored. I can't trust it.
Yeah, I'm also going nuts for Andrews.
Andrews is going to get about a 4 reception, 35 yards. It's just going to depend on if he gets the touchdown. I'll go not stonks.
You know, you like nailed what his last week was to a T. He had 5 for 45, but he got the touchdown.
Right.
So the only reason Todd Monken can't. He's the most infuriating guy because it's air raid and he ignores the tight ends, even if the tight end is such a fucking weapon.
Up next, New Orleans Saints versus the Green Bay Packers.
I don't want to watch this game. It's going to be the most boring game of the week.
Chris Olave stonks. Boring game. Let's move on.
So Packers are favored by -2.
I actually think that New Orleans is going to win this game.
Yeah,
well,
I like.
Is it Packers at home? Is it Packers at home?
Yeah, it's at Packers.
Then yeah, if you're only favored by 2, that's realistically a toss-up. I'm going New Orleans.
Yeah, that's a Vegas favors New Orleans because
it's usually 3 points. Give me points. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, given that they favor New Orleans, in this one against this defense, how does Olave do?
I like him.
Yeah, Olave's proven he can just show up against whatever fucking team you throw against him.
I'm going stonks for Olave.
I think because they've been using Thomas more down the field, so he'll have Alexander on him. I think Olave will be over the middle. He'll get a lot of catches. I like him.
If Matt Collins can own Darnell Savage, so can Olave. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm saying Packers win this game. Hopefully, hopefully they get someone back in either Aaron. Like one of the 3 comes back this week, but I think Packers can win this.
All right. Up next, your boy Tennessee Titans against Cleveland Browns.
Also, I do not want to watch this game.
I'm actually going to shock you. Well, I think I think this is still the Browns strictly because of the defense. If it weren't for the defense, I wouldn't pick the Browns. But because of that defense and Ryan Tannehill being a fucking turnover machine, the Browns. And if Deshaun Watson could be a game manager, then definitely the Browns.
Yeah.
Nick Folk is kicking 5 field goals, and Tennessee is winning the game.
That's what you pay $205 million for, a game manager. Jeez.
Hey, that's what Baker wanted, so either way we were going to do it.
Yeah, but he only wanted 100. So
No, Baker wanted 2-something. He wanted 100-something guaranteed.
I'm actually also in Cleveland on this one. I like their defense more than I tend to see. So I'm going Cleveland.
unfortunately, yes, I am also going Cleveland on this one. So how many times does let's go Myles Garrett.
Oh, he's stuck. That's a perfect start.
This is going to be a three sacks.
I don't know. Chargers couldn't get any fucking sacks.
The Chargers don't have a Myles Garrett.
Yeah, the Chargers don't have a Jim Schwartz defense, and they don't have Denzel Ward or Martin Emerson or Greg Newsome on the back end either. So,
but yeah, I like Garrett against that front. Although he didn't get any sacks against Pittsburgh, which is concerning. But
he didn't get sacks, but he got a ton of pressure.
He did.
Like,
he got pressure.
Something about the Browns defense. He has like 1 or 2 sacks this year. But the pressure in general is insane that they're getting, and other players are getting sacks, so it don't matter.
In another game that we are all dying to watch, Denver versus Miami.
Miami.
Oh, this is Miami.
Steamroller.
All right. Broncos. Oh boy, you're starting 0-3. You remember how at the start of the season we were saying that Jets game, like Broncos could go in with like 3 wins, whereas in the Jets have
you were really on something that night.
Boy. Wow.
Well, look, in fairness, we were counting on Aaron Rodgers, much like the Jets fans were.
So given we think the Broncos are going to suck, how is Sutton?
I think Sutton puts up an okay line. Where the Broncos will get the numbers is on the ground. If any Bronco is going to be stonks, it's Javonte. But I don't even trust him in this game because I think the Dolphins are going to get too big of a lead and they're going to abandon the run. I don't like any Broncos in this game.
Look, depending on how often Eli Apple's covering Cortland Sutton, he could be stunks. But
Eli's going to be on Mims, and Mims had a hell of a game this past week. So
if you're sending Xavier Howard against Cortland Sutton, which you should, no, Jerry Jeudy's back.
Yeah, Jerry's back.
So I feel like Sutton could be stunks, but I'm going to say not stunks.
How is this less than a touchdown? That's so disrespectful to the Dolphins.
Up next, we get who do we got next? Speaking of the NFC East, Mike, your boy taking on your boogeyman, the New York Jets taking on the New England Patriots.
Well, Bill Belichick's going to bend over the Jets once again, and
look, this is a time where you really needed Aaron Rodgers.
This is the second time he's going to fuck the Jets this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. Belichick is going to destroy Zach Wilson.
Again,
the Jets defense will hold the Patriots offense to minimal. Like, this is not going to be a high scoring game, but they're still going to win by 10.
I got this at 13-9. That's my final score.
That's generous.
Hey, that's a touchdown and 2 field goals.
36.5 points.
What the fuck?
Take the under. Yeah, take the under.
36.5 points is the over-under.
Yeah, take the under. Take the under.
Patriots favored by 3, which means they're really favored by 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, given his tweets last week, Breece Hall.
If he does not get touches this week, something's wrong.
If he gets the ball, he'll put
he got the ball week 1 and they were doing great.
Yeah, he'll put up stats if he gets the ball. The problem is, does he get the ball?
Yeah. If he gets the ball, Stunks. I will say give Stunks to Brees Hall.
It's explosive. Like the first game, he had 10 touches for 120 something yards.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. So
hey, Brees, come to Cleveland. We take unhappy Jets all the time.
All right. So yeah, up next, you got the Buffalo Bills taking on the. Really enough, one of these teams is 2-0, and it's not the Bills.
I think the Bills are going to come out in this game angry.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I like Buffalo looking to make a statement. They did it last week against the Raiders, but when it was really expected. Now you have a team that genuinely should be worse than them. They're going to come out swinging. I like Buffalo in this all the way.
I do too.
How does
real quick? I'm gonna go against the grain of these two. You want to know why? Because Eric Bieniemy has been able to fucking scheme Buffalo's defense every game the past few times he's played them. I am gonna shock the world. Sam Howell's gonna have a great game. Terry McLaurin 2 touchdowns.
all right. I'm going Damian Harris.
I'm going to say not Stunks.
He's going to rely on the PI in the end zone for the 1-yard rush. I think he's got the Jamal Williams role. He could be the Jamal Williams player of this year. I don't like him overall unless they have that situation, so not Stunks.
Look, in this game, as long as Washington is not down by 3 with 13 seconds left, Buffalo's going to win. See
If you want to bet Washington, you have 6.5 points to play with. So I would. I don't know how that's so high. It's the Bieniemy factor. You talked about it. How Bieniemy's like. It should be lower. It should be a lot lower. This is a closer game than it should be.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I just have a feeling Bieniemy knows how to scheme around Buffalo, and it's going to show again.
Bills are going to win, but it's going to be real damn close, and it's going to give me a heart attack.
Up
Jacob,
next.
what if they don't win, though?
Oh, if we don't win, next week's going to be really fun.
So mad.
That's going to be so fun. Up next, honestly, sneaky candidate for game of the week next week. Atlanta versus Detroit.
I'm excited to watch this one, actually. This could be a fun game. I'm going to give Detroit the factor of being at home, but it'll be close.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also going Detroit in a close one.
I'm going Detroit close.
So this is Detroit. So this is a coin toss. Basically, their Lions are 3-point favorites at home. So yeah, they're basically Vegas is giving this a coin toss. All right, how does Goff do?
I like him in this game.
I'll go Stunks on Goff.
I like Goff in this game. I go Stunks. I think who I think is going to do good in this game is Sam Laporta. I think he's going to have his breakout. He's going to get his touchdown this week. I think Laporta gets 5 or 6 receptions and he's going to hit the end zone.
All right. Up next, battle of the AFC South. We got C.J. Stroud taking on Trevor Lawrence. Houston Texans versus Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's all Jaguars. It's in Jacksonville. This is all Jaguars.
I think CJ plays another good game, but Jaguars win.
Sorry?
I said I think CJ has another good game, but Jaguars win.
Yeah. So Jags are 9.5 point favorites. Outside of the Giants game, it is it's not. It's the second best odds.
I think they still cover it. There's so many holes on that Houston team. Jacksonville can rely on their run game to win this game.
Well, so given how much he hurt me last week, does Calvin really have a better game this week?
Absolutely.
Yes. Stunks on Calvin Ridley.
Stunks on Ridley for me too.
Fucking better.
All right. This next game we thought would be between two playoff contenders. Now the two teams looking to crawl to escape the death pit that is 0-3. The Chargers versus the Vikings.
Bet the over. This game is going to have fireworks on offense.
Yep.
54.5 points is the over.
And I'm taking it.
That's a good bet to take the over.
Chargers favored by -1 point.
Oh.
Wow.
Look, I'm going to say this. if the Chargers don't win this game, there's a very good chance Brandon Staley gets fired immediately.
I think he will. I think, like I said, I think at the end of this game, either Staley is fired or Kirk Cousins. We hear the rumors. They're making phone calls.
So,
I really think that this is the game that the loser, the franchise changes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This game, if you have anybody who is on either one of these teams, not named Alexander Madison, get them into your fantasy lineups because they are going to put numbers up. I do like the Chargers. Probably a fairly close. I like the Chargers by less than a touchdown, but this could be a ping pong match. I think you're going to get a high scoring game. I do like the Chargers, though. I just don't know that Minnesota. The ground game is going to be the difference. The Chargers can run the ball, Minnesota can't, and that's going to be what the difference is to me.
So you said that if you have anyone on the Chargers, all right, they've barely used him yet. Quentin Johnson.
He'll get it. He hits the end zone this week. He gets the tud.
All right.
Up next, we have the Carolina.
Oh, I'm
Panthers
sorry.
taking-
I'm picking Chargers to win this game. By the way, yes.
Oh yeah.
What, I mean, you better. You better.
I can't. I don't. Well, here's the thing. Do I want the short-term solution or the long-term solution?
Right.
Up next, we have the Carolina Panthers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I feel bad for Carolina.
This is a rough situation for Bryce. He's got to go into Seattle. Yeah, this is not going to end well.
No. So this is Seahawks are 6-point favorites.
Oh, take that and then some.
Yeah.
Although you know they showed in the last game garbage time. They're pretty good. They're frisky. I don't like six. I don't like touchdowns. Like I don't like more than a field goal.
I'm still taking Seattle in this one.
I like Seattle easy in this game.
Yeah,
I think Seattle win. I just garbage time points. Just yeah. All right. Well, seeing as how we have Seattle winning, let's go with the Panthers. Let's go Thielen.
Doxson that he'll be like a good volume receiver. He'll get like a lot of like 5-yard catches.
Same as last night. I agree with that. He's going to get like 5-6 catches for like 6 yards each. That's going to be whether you consider that stonks or not stonks. That's like right on the cusp for me. He's going to get the receptions. He's not going to get the yards.
All right. This game is gonna fucking suck.
It's going. Okay, there are two options of this game. Mike, I think you had gone when I said this. The Cowboys are losing either this week or next week. One of them is they're losing one of them.
It's not.
If the Cowboys lose this game, set it on fire. Like Cowboys should have no reason to be optimistic, and Cowboys like the whole "this is our year" campaign should end right now. If you lose this game,
you know what's even funnier? This isn't even the worst, like the biggest odds. The biggest spread. It's 12 points.
What's the biggest? Then?
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm looking at the docket. I know what the biggest is now. Okay.
We'll get there.
But still, that's a little crazy.
Yeah, no, I think that's wrong. I think this should be the bigger one. It is 12 points.
Dallas steamrolls them.
Dallas.
All right. So
although it is going to be hilarious if Josh Dobbs can get a touchdown against his defense, but Daniel Jones, the $40 million man, couldn't.
Okay. Speaking of Josh Dobbs,
wish it was my quarterback.
How many picks does Diggs get off him?
One.
Diggs, I think Diggs gets one. There is probably 3 picks in this game, but one of them is Diggs.
Yeah, if we're going off a pick, I say Diggs. Stock. I don't love Trayvon Diggs, but I'll say stock for this game.
I think that there's only one pick total from Dobbs because I think in his 4 NFL starts right now, he's shown he's capable of being a very solid quarterback, especially like a fringe starter. And he hasn't. So
He's a solid backup. I think he's showing he's a very solid backup. I don't know if he's a fringe starter.
Alopecia Poppy, let's go. Up next, I'm pretty sure this game has to have the biggest odds. It's Chicago Bears versus Kansas City.
Yep, 12.5 point.
How much?
12.5.
They cover. They cover that.
Yeah. So Chiefs are 12.5 point favorite. 12.5 point favorites.
There are some bad games this week.
Yeah.
Eliminated this week was rough because I don't want to waste good teams, but like they're all good teams.
You have so many choices.
I know. Like it's just you don't want to waste. I don't want to waste the Cowboys on a Cardinals game like this week. Anyway.
The 49ers on the short week is such it's a free square.
I'm putting $200 worth of bonus bets on that fucking game. That's just free money.
I feel bad because I feel bad for Justin Fields having to go into Arrowhead to face this.
After the week he's had, this is gonna be rough. And so we're gonna kick him while he's down. All right, how does DJ Moore go?
I'm about to say, if it's Justin Fields, it's not Stunks. DJ Moore, I also think not Stunks.
But there's not a single Bears player I consider Stunks.
With that defense, good fucking luck.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah. All right.
Chris Jones over under 3 sacks.
Over. Up next, Sunday Night Football, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Vegas to take on the Raiders.
I'm going to bed early on Sunday.
Yeah, chance.
Yeah,
Chance, you have a chance to lose this one. You have a chance to lose this one.
I mean, you have a chance to lose every game. Yes.
This is my eliminator. I've got Steelers for my eliminator because
that is a bold choice when you have so many free squares this week.
I know, but I don't want to use them. I need to save them for late in the season.
Look, if Derek Carr couldn't beat us, Jimmy G's not going to beat us either. Pittsburgh all the way.
So the Raiders are favored by -2.5 points.
So because they're at home.
Yeah. Still, that
shows you how much Vegas loves Matt Canada.
Yeah.
It's going to be a low-scoring game. I won't deny that. But look, Pittsburgh's going to come out on fire. The defenses.
What's the over/under on turnovers in this game? Because that's the one that could take the over.
Ooh, let's have a look. Hang on, I'm going to see if I can find it.
I'm saying 1.5.
Well, it's got to be like 3. You have Jimmy G and Kenny Pickett. It's got to be 3.
So 2.5.
3. They'll go 3.5.
3.5. So 4. So wow, that 4.5. 3.5 is pricey. 2.5 I'd buy. 3.5 is pricey.
I'm taking the Raiders. I think they're at home. Devontae Adams is going to run wild in this game. I do think some of the Steelers are going to have good games. I do think that Pickens he's starting to emerge. I think he'll do well against this defense. I don't know who else is going to put up numbers. But at the end of the day, I think the turnover game is going to come into play, and I'm just going to go with the home field advantage on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the total turnovers is 2.5. That's the line.
Okay.
Give me the over.
Give me the over.
Your stonks, not stonks.
No.
Allen Robinson.
We know the rules. Everyone in Pittsburgh stonks. Everyone on the other team not stonks.
No, that's not how this goes.
Yeah, yes, it is. That's it. That's in the rules in the contract you all signed.
I didn't sign a contract, so my not stonks player Kenny Pickett. My stonks player is George Pickens.
We moved on.
No, we haven't. You're not going to rush me, motherfucker.
Monday Night Football doubleheader.
This is so stupid.
I can't believe, 3 weeks ago, I would not have said this, but give me the Rams all day in this game.
Ditto.
Bengals starting 0-3. Just blow it up.
Yesterday, so before the game yesterday, the odds were at -9 today they're at Bengals are favored by -2. Vegas do not think Burrow is playing at all.
It's confirmed that he's not playing, essentially.
Yeah.
Man, if you got on that -9, that was free money.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Damn it. Yeah. Oh, well. But, yeah, Rams.
It literally just changed to -1.
Oh, shit.
They just, literally just
The Rams are winning this game.
Oh, yeah. That's gonna change. That's gonna right now you're getting free points. Like if you're a bettor and you want to bet on this game, you need to do it now before that changes and you're giving up points. You are getting a point right now.
So yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Rams, especially with no Burrow.
All right. How's that boy do? How's the rookie?
Oh, he just stunk. I love Puka.
Puka Nacua Parma stunks. Let's go.
I'm kind of feeling that way too, Chance. Like he stonks the whole season.
Super Cup, you have been eliminated.
He has argument for left side, strong side Hall of Fame.
He's already up there. Like
no, okay, that's what we need to do in the offseason. We need to do our Hall of Fame class every year.
Oh God,
Puka's the early front runner.
Early front runner for Hall of Fame class 2024. So yeah. Lastly, for the doubleheader, we have the Eagles taking on Tampa Bay.
This is gonna be closer than you think.
Yeah.
I like. Okay, so the spread is Eagles -5. I really like Tampa there. I really like
that. Yeah, I think so too.
I like Tampa because one, again, we keep saying this. Eagles secondary is struggling, really struggling. Baker throwing it to Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. He is enjoying it. He is having fun. Sorry to teams who thought they were getting Mike Evans this year. Apparently, you're not.
Apparently, Mike Evans and Baker have a rapport. Like that's what we learned in the past.
It ain't happening. I'm sorry. So yeah, this is. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. I'm taking Bucks in an upset.
Wow.
There is one reason I cannot take Bucks in an upset, and it is because I've seen Baker Mayfield in his highs and his lows, and he is set up for a low here. I don't trust it. This is the guy who played Xbox instead of played Call of Duty or Halo instead of prepping for the game against Green Bay. I don't trust it. He's set up for a down. He is set up for a down slope. I can't take Tampa here.
Yeah, but at that point, the Browns had fucked him, so he was just like, I don't care. And what? Sorry, they already had. The Browns had. They made it very clear they were not keeping him in the next season. That they were looking in the offseason for another quarterback. They had made that very clear.
Who's our stonks for this game, Jacob?
I'm trying to find a defensive player for the Eagles. Yeah, let's go Slay.
I feel like he has to be because he's literally the best player on that secondary. So I'm going stonks.
He's getting burned by Evans, I think.
I don't think he gets burned. I think he can test. Like I think Evans is bigger casual coming against Bradbury.
All right.
And that's going to do it for our look ahead. Matt, thank you for joining us again. Where can people find you at?
Right now, I'm on a tiny bit of a hiatus. As you can see, this is not as normally colorful and set up as it is, as I just bought a house. So, in the process of moving as of today, so the reviews have slowed down because it's partly because it's the dead time. Other content with myself personally has slowed down, but you can check out everything my team does, whether that's Taylor or Connor or anybody else, on YouTube at Watt Real Ent or Watt Real Gaming. We are in the middle of Taylor's in the middle of our King of the Ring tournament on Twitch, so you can go check that out. It is a ton of people in this sphere
going down.
I was about to say Deacon's in it. Literally, if you want to be in it, you just have to talk to Taylor. Blunden, if you want to be in it, just talk to Taylor. Chance, if you want to be, it's a ton of Schmodown personalities. It's a ton of just former reactors, all that, and it's just funny, and it's a way to keep the community kind of together in a way, which is fun, especially when you get in the chat and you see there's so many people there. So check that out on our Twitch. That's twitch.tv/WattRealEnt. And yeah.
All right, Jake, where can we find you?
You guys can find me pretty much on here every week. I will be on This Man's show tomorrow night, and oh god, I can't. Yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun. Other than that, yeah, that's just at Facebook, Twitter, everywhere at Jacob London.
Mike?
And as Jacob just stated, he will be guest hosting tomorrow night on What the Show. We're going to be for the next 2 months fundraising for our very own AJ Lancaster to help cover his astronomical medical bills that he's encountered. You can also find me this upcoming Thursday. I will be on Benny and Moose Save America with guest bartender Bethany Deacon. I will be playing Justin the Juice in a Wayne's World 1 and 2 match.
I'm at Twitter, Instagram at Chance_91. Check out Choice by Chance, the podcast. We couldn't get our last Eastwood episode recorded, but we're trying to do 2 this week. We're definitely doing Pale Rider at the end of this week. Hopefully we can get our other one in before the weekend's up. And thank you for watching. And next week you can find us again. We will have a brand new guest for the next week. God, I hope it's not I hope it's a very similar episode to what we had today, considering who we're bringing on. Not gonna reel it right now. And but either way, bottom line, all Steelers stonks, come Super Bowl. Good night, everybody.